An astounding $28 billion is stolen from older Americans each year, according to AARP. And now the FBI is warning that hackers and con artists are getting more elaborate when it comes to tricking their victims. And here to talk about the latest scheme targeting older people is our friend and tech expert, Dave Hatter. Dave, good morning to you. I feel like we are always doing stories about scams and the elderly, but this one is called Phantom Hacker. I've never heard of it. Explain that to us.
Yeah, well, good morning, and thanks for having me on as always, Aaliyah. And yeah, I think this is such an important topic. I'm glad you guys wanted to talk about this today. The FBI has recently put out a warning about this, and it's leveraging an old scam that's been around for a long time. This idea of a tech support scam, where maybe you get a message on your computer, or you actually get a phone call from someone that claims to be from Google or Microsoft, and they've detected viruses on your computer and just want to help you out, right? So it's really important to understand, first off, none of these tech companies are going to call you and tell you you have a virus or some problem with your computer and offer to help you. That just does not happen. And secondarily, it's extremely critical to understand that unless you have initiated some type of tech support yourself with a known trusted company, never let any remote person take control of your computer, because that's a big part of this scam. They claim you have a problem. They want to take control of your computer. Once they're in there, they can get any information they want. In this case, per the FBI, they want to get access to your financial information, try to determine if there's enough money there to make it worth their while to steal. And then they'll tell you something like, oh, well, there's now fraud on your bank account. You need to transfer your money to a secure bank account. And the new aspect of the scam, though, is they'll have multiple people lined up. And I want to point out before we run out of time, Aaliyah, they'll use something in the business called open source intelligence. They might go to the Treasury's website or the FBI's website or the IRS's website or your bank's website and look up actual real people. Whether they use LinkedIn or they use information they can find online at like the sheriff's office website or whatever, when they call you back, they'll say, well, I'm from the bank. Oh, you don't believe me? Go to LinkedIn and look me up. I'm this person. Or go to this website and look me up. And then if you still won't transfer the money, they'll call you a third time and claim to be some government representative. I'm from the Treasury Department, and yes, your bank account has been hacked and you need to transfer your money. The point being, these people are very creative, very devious. They'll use any tools and means available to convince you to do these kind of things. And again, this isn't my suggestion. It's the FBI warning you. They've seen $500+ million stolen in the first 6 months of this year and received 19,000 complaints at the Internet Crime Complaint website that they run, ic3.gov. So it's a huge scam. And I see how people get sucked into these things because, they'll keep calling you back and they'll have what appears to be legitimate information from legitimate organizations because they can find that stuff online.
Man, these folks are just going to great lengths to get people's money. How can we trust anyone in these cases, Dave?
Well, unfortunately, you really can't. Again, my advice to you is if you get a call claiming to be from Microsoft or any tech company and you have a problem, just hang up. It's a scam. 99.9% of the time, it's a scam. If you do have some sort of technical support problem, then you should go on what we like to call in the business out of band, verify a legitimate company that you can call and ask for help. Never let someone take remote control of your computer unless you are absolutely positively certain that it's a legitimate company, because once I have control of your computer, I can do anything, including create a backdoor that will let me get back in when you're not there. So never give away control like that. And just, sadly, today it's hard to believe or believe anything you see or hear. You got to be extremely skeptical. And I appreciate you guys getting the word out about these frauds because people are losing enormous amounts of money as a result of this stuff.
So, Dave, with that being said, how do we talk to our grandparents about these scams?
Well, I think what you got to do is try to ease into it and, just warn them, hey, look, here's some information from the FBI. This isn't Dave Hatter's opinion. This is legitimate information from real reports of crime they're getting through ic3.gov, by the way, which is a great website, Internet Crime Complaint Center. It's full of tips. And if you think you've been the victim of fraud, I highly recommend that you report it there. But, you can use some of these online resources from the government to sort of ease into it and say, hey, these things are happening. The FBI has a nice infographic on that site that kind of walks you through how this particular scam works. But I think it's just important to start to raise awareness and make sure that people, whether they're elderly folks or kids, make them aware these are happening all the time. And that if someone is asking for remote control, if someone is telling you there's fraud or something, you should hang up and go out of band, right? If your bank claims to be calling you because there's fraud, hang up, get your bank statement, call the number on the bank statement so you know you're talking to a legitimate representative, not one of these scammers, because they're really good and they're very creative in the ways they'll keep trying to convince you to let them have access to your money.
Dave, as always, you're so knowledgeable. Thank you for being on our show to give us information about this important message. And
yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You can always find our local 12 stories right here on YouTube. Don't forget to tap subscribe, and then you can get all the notifications.